Yeah, who I wanted.
You want Weezy?
Nah, I said I wanted 50. That's what I said. He don't want no smoke, though.
Oh, Lord. Well, T.I. decided to respond and play into it and say, I'm going to use to promote my music. He said,
Hey, everyone. How are you doing? I am just bringing it to... It's probably the most relevant, humorous thing for us to talk about. And I guess we can talk about it.
Brothers and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you gotta do is call.
What started as a simple rap challenge just turned into something nobody saw coming. At first, it felt familiar. Two icons. Two legacies. A moment that looked like it belonged in hip-hop history for all the right reasons. Fans were excited. Social media was buzzing. The idea of a Vazoo's battle between T.I. and 50 Cent wasn't just another matchup. It was a cultural event waiting to happen. Two different eras. Two different styles. One stage. It felt inevitable. But sometimes, the biggest stories don't come from what happens. They come from what doesn't. Because instead of stepping into that moment, everything took a turn no one expected. To really understand how things spiraled, you have to go back to the beginning. To the rise of T.I. At a time when Atlanta was still proving its dominance in hip-hop, he wasn't just participating. He was leading. His voice carried weight.
First, I apologized. I apologized because, I felt that,
Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of Tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our...
I called my man out. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke.
50 Cent, I don't fear my past. I'm too focused on the future. Top 20 in 2 weeks.
His music defined a generation. He wasn't just making hits. He was building a movement. Trap music wasn't just a sound. It was becoming a culture, and T.I. stood at the center of it. Albums dropped. Streets listened. The industry followed. He transitioned into acting. Built businesses. Became a public figure beyond music. To many, he wasn't just a rapper anymore. He was a brand. A voice. A figure of authority in hip-hop culture. At the same time, on the other side of the country, 50 Cent was building something completely different. But just as powerful. His rise was explosive. Aggressive. Strategic. He didn't just enter the industry. He shook it. Everything about him demanded attention. His music, his business moves, his personality.
All of those rounds were fired for me, Your attention that it is now July the 6th.
Shit, nigga wanna say something about my mama. Your mama dead as fuck, nigga. Your mama dead as fuck. Go dig her.
Now, hashtag let them know that. King, I'm love, not like. Hashtag my gun.
Understood something most artists didn't. Controversy wasn't always a risk. Sometimes, it was a weapon. And over the years, that strategy turned him into more than an artist. It turned him into a storyteller. Not just through music, but through television, media, and narratives that reached far beyond the studio. For a long time, the tension between these two names stayed under the surface. Occasional jabs. Old-school rivalry energy. The kind of friction hip-hop has always thrived on. But nothing that truly exploded into something uncontrollable. Until recently. The Vazoo's conversation brought everything back. Fans wanted it. The culture demanded it. And when T.I. publicly pushed for it, it felt like the moment had finally arrived. But when 50 Cent didn't respond the way people expected, that's when the tone started to shift. Because in hip-hop, silence can be louder than words. T.I. didn't stay quiet. He spoke openly. Called it how he saw it. From his perspective, this wasn't hesitation. It was avoidance. He believed the moment was being dodged. And that's when the first spark turned into something bigger. But 50 Cent doesn't always fight on the same battlefield. Instead of responding with music, he responded with memory. Old clips started resurfacing. Past controversies that had faded from public conversation suddenly found their way back into timelines, blogs, and discussions. It wasn't random. It felt calculated. Like pieces of a story being placed back together. And then, Everything changed overnight. A single post. A name. A concept. A warning disguised as a tease. A documentary. It didn't stay up for long. It didn't need to. Because within minutes, screenshots spread across the internet like wildfire. The title alone was enough to shake the situation. It pointed.
I know what the most entertaining and the most
Wrong with you? Y'all just better tie y'all motherfucking shoes. Y'all just don't know who the y'all fucking with.
Good time, but 5 mics. There's an app check for you or a paycheck for me.
Say at least about half the month, maybe about 15 days, he gonna get it to the capital C's and go at somebody.
Directly at serious allegations that had surrounded T.I. and his wife in the past. Allegations that, while widely discussed before, had not resulted in criminal charges. But that didn't matter anymore. Because the conversation had been reopened. And this time, it felt different. This wasn't a diss track people could argue over. This wasn't a lyrical battle where fans could pick a winner and move on. This was something heavier. Something that stepped outside the boundaries of music and into real life. And that's where everything became unpredictable. The internet reacted instantly. Some people stood firmly behind T.I., pointing to the legal outcomes. They argued that if no charges were filed, then bringing these allegations back into the spotlight was unfair. That it was an attempt to damage a reputation without new evidence. Others saw it differently. They believed that documentaries aren't about courtrooms. They're about stories. And stories have power, regardless of legal conclusions. They shape perception. They influence how millions of people think and feel. And just like that, the narrative split in two. Media outlets amplified it. Social platforms turned into debate arenas. Every post, every reaction, every opinion added another layer to the situation. But the moment that truly shifted everything wasn't the post itself. It was what came after. Because this time, it wasn't just the artists involved. It became personal. T.I.'s family stepped into the spotlight. His son, King Harris, went live. And what he said changed the energy completely. The words weren't just offensive, they were emotional, direct, and, to many people, crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed. References were made to deeply personal parts of 50 Cent's past. The kind of things that carry real pain. The kind of things that aren't supposed to be used in public battles. And once those words were out, there was no taking them back. The reaction was immediate and intense. Some people understood it as loyalty. A son defending his family. Standing up in a moment of pressure. But others felt uncomfortable. They saw it as a shift away from competition and into something much more serious. Even figures within the hip-hop community began speaking out. Not about who was winning, but about what lines should never be crossed. And in the middle of all of it, 50 Cent stayed quiet. No immediate retaliation. No direct response. Just silence. But this wasn't the kind of silence that ends a situation. It was the kind that builds anticipation. Because historically, when he goes quiet, it usually means something bigger is coming. That's what made the documentary threat feel real. Not just because of the allegations, but because of the pattern. This is someone who understands how to take fragmented stories and turn them into structured narratives. Who knows how to build attention before delivering a final product. Someone who doesn't need a courtroom to make an impact. Just a platform. And if that—
And I gave you 2 days for a grace period just because I had to get my shit together. I was having
404-577-8477. That's 404-57.
that platform gets used, the consequences could go far beyond music. Because this isn't just about songs anymore. It's about image, legacy, business, reputation. Everything that took decades to build could be questioned in a matter of hours. At the same time, T.I. hasn't shown fear. He's responded, stood firm, made it clear that he's ready to defend himself, not just in music, but in any arena this situation moves into. There have even been hints that he could tell his own side of the story. That if narratives are being built, he won't let someone else control his. And that's what makes this situation so intense. It's not just about what happened. It's about who gets to tell the story of what happened. Right now, fans remain divided. Some believe the battle is already over.
Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward. The number to Crime Stoppers Atlanta is...
That from a music standpoint, T.I. held his ground, delivered his message, and walked away with momentum. Others believe the real battle hasn't even started yet. Because a diss track fades. But a documentary stays. It lives online, gets shared, rewatched, discussed. It becomes part of a person's story whether they like it or not. And that's the uncertainty hanging over everything right now. No official release. No confirmed project. Just a threat. A possibility. A silence that feels louder than any response. And maybe that's the most powerful move of all. Because while everyone is watching, debating, choosing sides, the next move hasn't been revealed yet. And when it finally is, it might not just change this situation. It might change how both names are remembered forever.